Welcome to Watches with Dennis, and today I'm reviewing the Stowa Flieger Classic 40 Baumuster B, aka the Type B Flieger. This watch is from my personal collection. It was purchased used as a display watch direct from Stowa, and I've owned it for a week at this point. Stowa is a German company and one of the 5 original Flieger manufacturers. This model is listed as having 50 meters of water resistance. In terms of measurements, let's go ahead and take a quick look. On the website, Stowa lists this watch as being a 40 millimeter diameter watch. So let's get the calipers here. Getting about, well, if I can get it on the watch, 40.1. Lug width is listed as 20. I'm getting what? 20 millimeters. All right, thickness is listed at 10.2 millimeters. Wonder if that might be the automatic or something, because they have more than one style. We'll go into that more, but I'm only getting 8.9 millimeters versus what's on their website. And the lug-to-lug was listed at 48.6 millimeters. I'm getting 48.5, so everything except the thickness seemed close to, or yeah, basically what was on the website. Looking at the face of this watch, the first thing one notices is the very unusual dial associated with Type B Fliegers. Closest to the edge of the watch are the minute markers, and you can see Arabic numerals are used at every 5-minute interval, other than up at the 12 o'clock position, which has an arrow pointing at it. Closer to the center of the dial are the hour markers, and each one of those hours is denoted with an Arabic numeral. Other than time markings, this watch is devoid of text. There are no logos or other information on the face of the watch. Everything is a stark white against the black dial, other than the hands. The hour and minute hands are a sword style, and they are thermally blued. We'll see if I can turn this into the lamps, let you catch some of that thermal bluing. There, should be able to see it. Glistening. The hour hand is quite distinct in terms of how short it is compared to the minute hand and versus what we would think of with most traditional watches. And that is so that it lines up cleanly and doesn't really go past where the hour markers are on the inner diameter of the dial. The watch does feature a sweeping seconds hand. Superluminova C3 is used extensively throughout the watch dial and on the hands and is very generously applied. I'll insert some Loom footage here so you can see it. The case is stainless steel. It has a fine matte finish, and Stowa notes that it is ground by hand. The lugs do curve downward toward where the wrist would be, unlike traditional Fliegers. And I think this provides a more fitted look when worn versus the traditional straight lugs. And when I do the wrist shot later, you'll get a good look at it on my wrist. There is a onion-style crown, which is large and very easy to grip and manipulate. The crown offers 2 positions. In position 0, the crown is all the way into the case. This is not a screw-down crown, and thus in position 0, the watch can be wound as such. And in position 1, the time can be set. So we're in position 1. You can see setting time is straightforward. The seconds hand has stopped moving. This watch does feature hacking, and the dial itself is protected by a sapphire crystal. In terms of the back of the watch features a display case back, which is also a sapphire crystal. Model information is around the diameter on the back side of the case. The movement does feature blued screws. You can also see some of the jewels. And there is the golden Stowa engraving there on the right-hand side. This model came on a leather strap that is in the pilot format with the rivets. And we do see a stainless steel tang buckle. This watch features the Sellita SW215-1 movement. This is a hand wind only movement. It has 19 joules, offers approximately 42 hours of power reserve, and beats at 4 hertz. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on the time grapher. As you can see in the dial up position, we are getting a rate of about plus 2 seconds per day. I've already recorded the values in the 5 other positions for the watch, so averaging all 6, I get an average gain of 4 seconds per day with a range of 0 seconds per day to plus 9 seconds per day. Here's a look at the watch on my 6.75 inch wrist. Try and let you get a good look here at the strap. There's the buckle, and it's actually got triple keeper. There's a fixed leather keeper, then there's sort of this metal keeper, and then there is one floating keeper. So, what are my overall thoughts on this watch? I have 4 positives and 1 negative that I'd like to go through. And so, in terms of positives, this is the best loom job I have had on any watch ever. It has really good accuracy, has a really unique look overall, and the strap is pretty comfortable. And in terms of the negatives, it's just I wish it had 100 meters of water resistance. So, this watch currently retails on Stowa's website for 1,120 euros, which would be roughly 1,280 US dollars at this time, though I should note that the euro price does include VAT, which a US buyer would not pay. I believe this is a new higher price, which was initiated at the start of 2022. Stowa does sometimes run sales on their display models, usually at the end of the year as part of an advent calendar sale leading up to Christmas. That is how I acquired my watch. So my watch is slightly used as a display piece, fully warranted, and they put it on a new strap, and I was able to get a lower price because of that. I actually, in US dollars, paid just under $1,000 for this watch. And Stowa doesn't seem to use distributors, so your options are essentially buying direct from Stowa or keeping an eye out on the used market to see if you can pick one up from a prior owner. Overall, I am really happy with this watch. The Type B Flieger design is a really unique look in terms of the dial, and when I was looking for a watch that was a Flieger, I knew I wanted one from an original manufacturer. I chose Stowa because I felt the case construction looked like it took some modern improvements, such as the curved lugs, that I thought would improve the comfort of the watch, while still overall staying relatively true to the original design. This model is available as an automatic and with a date function, and I ended up going with no date and hand wind to keep those elements more historically true. I do wonder if, because of that, the website's listing of the thickness of the watch was higher than what I got, so I'm curious if there was a typo, or if they measured it in some different way, or if the automatics are actually thicker than the hand winds and the specifications on the website were all the same no matter what configuration you clicked on. Regardless, I believe Stowa does do a top finish on any of the movements you go with for the model, which would explain why we got such good accuracy on the time grapher. The loom itself is incredible, as the footage I dropped in shows. Fliegers are known for their loom, so this does not disappoint in any way. This is easily the best loom work on any watch I've ever owned myself. The strap on the watch is very comfortable. When I first got the watch, the leather smell from the strap I found was a bit overpowering, but that dissipated within a day. The strap is interesting because it's both thick and soft. Stowa's pricing for straps is pretty low, too, compared to what I've seen from other manufacturers selling straps. So if you need a replacement, it doesn't look like it's a very big deal, and it's definitely not a very big cost to go to their website and order another one. As I did note in my summary here at the end, there's really not much in the way of negatives. I do prefer watch movements that can go to 48 hours on a power reserve so that they can get through a weekend unworn, but this is a hand wind only, and there is no date function, so it really doesn't matter in this sort of watch, in my view, and thus I couldn't actually list that as a negative. What I did list as a negative was the water resistance. I would have preferred 100 meters of water resistance. This is sort of a general rule for me. You can obtain 100 meters of water resistance without using a screw-down crown as well. I did have a Hamilton Pilot watch that had that, capability. So that would be a nice to have, but 50 meters is plenty for daily life. So I'm not overly concerned. This is not a watch I would end wearing out on a boat or at a lake or something, but getting caught in the rain, no worries there in terms of the 50 meters water resistance. Thank you very much for watching this review video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you'd like to be notified when I release new videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.